What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, my boy, the number one, technically speaking, the number one fighter in the world right now, given adjusted also for age, I believe, Josh, the Tartan Tornado Taylor. No doubt, that's what we do know. Now, I can't lie to you, man. Just quickly before we go into this video, Josh Taylor's comments were disappointing. If the truth be known, disappointing. He came out today and basically shilled for them goofy dons, Billy Ho and all of his team. I expected more from Josh, but you know what? Whatever. If he wants to shill, so be it. We know that the MTK and we know that El Trapahan has very long tentacles, so you just don't know who's getting touched, or you just don't know who is potentially. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that Josh Taylor probably under the thumb here. El Trapahan telling him, Josh, keep your mouth shut. So anyway, end of the day, putting that to one side, Josh's opinions are his opinions. But what we've learned recently, especially with Fury and Billy Ho, is that actions speak louder than words. Whilst Josh Taylor's come out today and said that, oh, Billy's got the biggest heart and Billy's the most courageous and grittiest fighter, the fact of the matter is, Josh, your actions say differently. Your actions, when you was in there a prograde and you had no eye, yeah? Not even a bit could you see out of your eye. Do you understand? I don't even know why I'm having to justify this to you, but I understand that, listen, boxing's a small world, MTK, El Trapahan, you know, it's no shock that you don't really want to tell the truth, but if you can't tell the truth, I'll tell the truth for you. And the point is, like you man can see on your screen now, Josh Taylor wasn't a case of, oh, shall I jack? Or sorry, Josh Taylor wasn't a case of, oh, let me see if I can convince the doctor to pull me out. He didn't want to go out. He wanted to finish the fight. He wanted to win, and Josh went on to win. You became unified. And this is what I was telling you, man. We have to, based on the history of boxing, we have to point out the doers and the don'ters. Otherwise, we all end up with this 2021, everyone gets a prize business. The way that the media's going on, the way that MTK and El Trapahan has got all the media shilling for Billy Joe, is basically corrupting boxing right now. The fact that everyone gets a medal and everyone's a warrior, it reduces the true courageous efforts of actual warriors. Does that make sense? Fernando Vargas, Josh Taylor, people who actually have one eye and push through. And listen, I've told you before, I told you earlier in the week, there's levels to warriors. Take Billy Joe Saunders' example. He is the very bottom. He's not even, I wouldn't even call him a fighter. A fighter, a bare minimum, a bare bones fighter would have said, this has been my first bad round, let me go out there and give it one more. And do you know how I know that? Mark Tibbs. Mark Tibbs said to Billy, can you give me one more? He didn't want one more. Mark Tibbs knows Billy well, meaning that he weren't going to look to try get Billy hurt. But the bare minimum, the boxing standard, the fighter, standard, the reason fighters get held in such high regard is because of these acts. A true fighter would have gone out there and give it one more round. We've seen it again and again and again. Now, a warrior would have gone out there and thought, for example, Callum Smith, I've got one arm, but you know what? Let me just get through this fight. Let me just try and survive. That's what a warrior would do. A true fighting champion has one eye, like Josh Taylor, and that's why I hold Josh Taylor in the highest regard, because there's levels to it. He not only had one eye, fully one eye, he wasn't blinking. You can see it on the screen. Josh Taylor weren't blinking. He weren't picking and choosing. He weren't begging the doctor to pull him out. He weren't begging Ben Davison to pull him out. He wanted to win. Do you understand? The ultimate. He wasn't just trying to survive like Callum Smith. Now, I'm not knocking Callum Smith. I'm not knocking anyone else. I'm just saying that there's levels to it. You have to. That's the way the world is. Or not so much these days. In 2021, everyone gets a prize. If you say you're an elephant, we must call you an elephant, or you get cut off of YouTube. That's how it is these days. Well, that can be you, man. Yeah? You MTK shields on IFL saying, oh no, Billy's a warrior. Even Eddie Hearn, annoying me. Eddie Hearn on there today on some DAZN interview saying, oh, Billy's the most courageous and Billy pushed through and Billy didn't want to quit, but Mark took it out of his hands. And you're lying to yourselves. Shocking. Yeah? But end of the day, the fact of the matter is, Josh Taylor, and just quickly, the reason I use Josh as well, it's important because people say, YB, you don't like European fighters. You only like certain No. I believe Josh Taylor, technically speaking, is certainly top 3 in the world right now. And not only technically speaking, also his heart is top 3 right now in the world. I'd actually argue that I put Josh Taylor above AJ in the technical element, and also we haven't seen AJ with a pop tie yet. I know that Josh can have a pop tie and get through and win. I can't say the same about AJ. We don't know. We haven't seen it, so I'm gonna go with JT on this one. Yeah, evidence. The evidence is JT had one eye, and not only did he not look for a way out, he also won. Yeah. Now, when you watch the fight, he did a very smart thing in the last, and this is the thing, he didn't have a popped eye for half a round. I think he had it for about 2 or 3 rounds. Josh Taylor had an eye like that. Big old pork pie. Big old Scottish haggis pork pie hanging off it. Yeah? Nonetheless, the JT didn't sit there and think of all the different ways and think of all the phrases he can use to get out of the fight like Billy Joe did. Billy Joe knew what to say. Billy Joe said, I can't see. That there is a, if there was ever a phrase for someone who wants to jack, that should be the jacker's phrase. I can't see. Yeah? Because every fighter knows, if you want to carry on a fight, the last thing you say, even if you can't, the last thing you tell anyone is I can't see. Because what are you supposed to do with that? Any team member, or anyone, if a doctor hears that, you're going to get dragged out. Guess what? Josh Taylor, even though empirically, even though numerically, there's no way he can see out of that eye. He has no eye left. Understand? He literally has no eye. Even then, you can go back and watch the audio. You show me where you see Josh saying, I can't see. Come on, Shane, I can't see. Help me, Shane. You don't see that because he knows what needs to be done. That's what a true warrior does. A true warrior knows the obvious. Obviously, he can't see. Nonetheless, he wants to win. Because he's a warrior. He went out there and he survived for 2, I think it was, the last round or 2. Whatever it was, he went out there. Could have easily sat back and thought, you know what? Drag me out, Shane. I don't want no more. Just like Billy Ho don't want no more. Drag me out. No. Keep me in. I got to win. I got stuff to do. And that's why it's important. If Billy wants to jack, that's on him. Nonetheless, you can't hold him in the same. You got Eddie Hearn and Cougar and Cassius making out Billy's a real. Oh well, he didn't want to leave, but Mark dragged him. Get serious now. It's frustrating. No, he didn't want to be in there. He didn't want no more. Oh, Eddie Hearn saying, oh well, it's not like Daniel Dubois. He didn't say no mass. He didn't say no mass. He begged to get dragged out of there. He begged Ben, the new fruity 2021 trainer, to drag him out of there and save him. And to be honest, I don't even want to get into Ben because I know Josh Taylor's working with Ben now, but I don't know what he's doing with Ben, to be fair. He should have stayed with Shane McGuigan, but that's for another day. The point is, either way, the evidence is right in front of you. This man had no eye. Not I'm blinking, not I'm going to try and put on a good act here. He had one eye and he won. That there is the pinnacle in my mind. Now I'm not a boxing historian. I'm sure there may be other examples of you man who know a lot more about the sports history where there's better examples, but at the end of the day, so far in my mediocre knowledge, this right here was something admirable. At the very peak of admirability as well. Because it's one thing, we've seen many fighters have injuries like this and then go on to lose. Ebony Bridges, for example, she went on and lost. It's another thing, it's another level to have that level of injury and still have the belief and the grit and the determination to say, or to never say never, to never say die. Yeah? Now, again, Josh Taylor today came out shilling for Billy, but to be honest, well, like I said, I can see both sides. MTK got the finger at your backside. You know what I'm saying? You can't really say what you want to say, but I'll do it for you. I'll tell you what Josh really wants to say is, listen, Billy, you're jacked. You ain't my level. And he's not. What are we doing trying to give everyone a prize here? Oh, no, Billy jacked. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just who he is. He isn't you. I don't know like I said, it's that whole new era thing. Oh, well, we have to say everyone's equal. No, you're not. Billy jacked, and that's the thing as well. What makes it worse is Billy talked a real bad game, like he was truly bad mind. Yeah? He talked the biggest game, like he's a big dog. He ain't big dog. You're a little dog. You're big bark dog. Sorry, you're a little dog, big bark. That's what you was. You're one of them little whippersnapper dogs who, you know what I'm saying? You're one of them little whippersnapper dogs who everyone else has to keep their dog back from it, otherwise they get chewed up. And we saw what happened, yeah? The Mexican dog got let on you, and you got, listen, Alvarez chewed your backside all the way up. Licking his chops he was, coming into round 9, licking all of his chops. Yeah? You didn't want no more. You begged Ben to drag you out. So no, you ain't no warrior. No, you ain't whatever. We've heard from Eddie, everyone else. I'm sick of it. Tired of it now. Yeah? And no doubt Eddie got on the blower to El Trapahan and said, oh, please Trapahan, make sure you tell all your minions not to mug me off today, all this week. Yeah? But anyway, I'm not going to make this one a long one. The point, I mean, I shouldn't even have to really conclude a point here. The point is blatantly obvious. You've got winners and losers, and then you've got everything in between. JT is the pinnacle of a winner. One eye, so far, one eye, one leg. And to be honest, to lose an eye in boxing is the ultimate. Yeah? So I know if JT loses an arm, no problem. Yeah? No problem. In fact, did he hurt his arm in this fight? I'm not sure. Either way, the point is, if you lose an eye and you're not, and it wasn't even an easy fight either. That's another thing. People have said, oh well, Ebony Bridges lost, but she wasn't fighting a puncher. Well, Prograis isn't like a massive puncher, but still, they was in there banging. In terms of power, it was more or less 50-50 with JT and Prograis. It was I think it may have won Fight of the Year, but certainly it was a contender. Josh Taylor was in a Fight of the Year unification fight, banging away from the jump as well. That's another important fact. Billy Ho Saunders wasn't banging away from the jump; he was running away. So Josh Taylor had sustained a lot more damage because it was a back and forth in the pocket fight, banging away there was both of them, man. And despite that, despite losing his eye in that kind of fight, he was able to negotiate to the end and win. Yeah? So all you Billy Ho fans who justify it and make out he's a champion, he's a bum. Yeah, he's a bum who jacked. And that's it. That's it. He talked a big game and backed none of it up. Absolutely none of it did he back up. I've got people telling me, oh, who was it? It may even have been Josh Taylor. Oh, yeah, it was. He said, oh, he certainly backed up. He certainly proved he can hang at that. Oh, come on, man. I can't believe what I'm hearing. How much is MTK paying you? And that's the problem, you see, with boxing. JT, he's got skill for days, but he don't have that ring to him. Even the Billy Ho Saunders ring. JT going to unify the undisputed division, but he doesn't have that ring to it because he don't talk a whole load of crap. Which means that MTK come along and say, JT, you're hot. You're a warrior. How much do we need to put in your bank so you can shill for Billy Joe? No, I'm under no illusions. He probably got paid, well, I don't know, a couple $100,000 today for coming out there and you know, what Josh Taylor's had to do here is sell his integrity. Oh, look, yeah, well, if Josh Taylor tells us that Billy Joe's a warrior, if Josh Taylor, who is a bona fide warrior himself, tells us that Billy Joe's certified, then he must, you know what I'm saying, one of them ones, selling your reputation, basically. And it's a shame that our champions have to be put in that situation where they're that poor, or relatively speaking. Because if he was in a better situation, Josh Taylor could say, El Trapahan, MTK, I'm not taking your money. Billy Joe jacked. Simple as that. Yeah? But it is what it is anyway. Josh, we real fans, we know the situation, yeah? We know. So just know that, well, we know that MTK wheeled you out there and you had to kind of sell your soul to get the check, but listen, we know when it mattered, you show up. That's all that really matters. That's all I really care about, to be fair. When it became time for you to stand up and be counted, you was there. And like I said, you didn't even really talk a whole load either. You was humble and had nuts, which is arguably the most, it's the most, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? No doubt.